The earth is thriving at its most vibrant peak and celebrating the bounty of the land. Although the air may be too hot to breathe, this weather ignites passion and sends Leo's infernal blaze into overdrive. The earth is basking in its success, and Leo takes center stage in full theatrical spotlight. The footage you are about to see was taken during Leo season, from July 23rd to August 22nd. Happy full moon! Today we have a full moon in Aquarius, and like most full moons, I have a very busy, very witchy day ahead of me. I have a very long checklist comprised of both mundane and magical, and it starts here at my altar. We need to go through my magical inventory because I need a lot of physical items to accomplish the things that I need to do today. Some of it I've got behind me, but I also have this storage bin full of ingredients that I brought out. This is not the most magical container, but we've got to make do. I live in a pre-furnished studio apartment, which is why there's a TV on top of my altar. I get asked a lot of questions about this, and no, it was not an intentional choice. This is not my ideal aesthetic, but I am embracing it. This might sound silly, and it is my Libra moon speaking, but I used to feel very insecure about sharing this kind of stuff. Like it wasn't witchy or pretty enough. So many other witches that I see online live in such magical spaces, and I am jealous. But I am just not in a place in my life that I can do that yet. I don't want to make this sound like I am complaining, but I'm sharing it in the possibility that somebody watching may feel this way. And if you do, I totally understand, and I want to reassure you that it does not make you any less witchy. And one day, I hope that we can both craft spaces that reflect who we are on the inside. But for now, I am just a city witch living in a modern world with my magical storage bin. So, I need to gather a few items. One, the ingredients that I will need for tonight's full moon. I am actually meeting a friend in the park to celebrate, and don't worry, I'm going to bring you along for that too. And we are going to do some very light spell work. It is a public space, which I'm a little nervous about because usually I only practice here or in a very secluded area outside. But if there is ever a time to be seen, it is Leo season. And it invites us to be confident in who we are and share that person with the world. And it's not like we're doing anything too crazy or too overtly witchy, but I am excited to get more comfortable practicing outside. The main thing that I want to do is charm and charge some new jewelry I got. This was actually sent to me by a traveler who is going on my retreat. Her name is Astrid, and she owns a small business called Quartz and Crow, which all scream Aquarius to me. I'm gonna charge these under the light of the full moon and call on Aquarius's power to problem solve, plan for the future, discuss ideas, and devise inventions. I want these to be ritualistic jewelry that I wear when I am seeking guidance. I imagine that I will wear these when I am doing divination or meditating. I thought this would be a really great opportunity to show you how I work with astrology in my practice. I get a lot of questions about astrological witchcraft, and instead of just explaining it, I am going to show you. As mentioned, tonight is the Aquarius full moon. This celestial weather is going to guide my working, and I'm going to use correspondences that align with this Aquarian energy. In my book, The Magic of Birthdays, I have a full description of each sign and their correspondences. And anytime I plan a working, I use it to determine which best support my particular working. This is exactly how I intended my book to be used when I wrote it. I wanted folks to have a reference book to return to. It has been very helpful for me, and I just hope it does the same for others. Now, let's talk about Aquarius. Aquarius season is from January 20th to February 18th. That is the time the sun transits through Aquarius, and the zodiac signs are reflected in the time of year they take place, at least in the tropical zodiac, which is what I follow as a traditional Hellenistic astrologer. Aquarius is the coldest time of the year. The weather does not permit for anything practical to be done. Rather, it is time to discuss ideas, plan for the future, and devise inventions. That is why Aquarius is the humanitarian of the zodiac and how it gets its out-of-the-box thinking, a quality that I hope to imbue my ritual jewelry with. In order to do that, I have chosen 3 plant allies to assist me in my working: olive leaf, acacia bark, and lavender. I'm going to add all 3 of these Aquarian flora to a jar and bring them with me to tonight's full moon. I am also bringing a violet candle, a color associated with Aquarius, my ritual jewelry, some oils, and the mirror everything is sat upon. You will see these items again very soon. The next thing I need is something to help a friend. Actually, it is a friend of my husband's. It is a classmate of his who is going through a really hard time, and his whole class is getting together to support this person in a really beautiful way. He made them a cheesecake, and he asked me if there was any magical help that I could offer. So obviously, I am on it. Serving my community is one of my favorite parts of being a practitioner. Generally speaking, all communities have some sort of folk healer. They all have different names for the role that they play in their culture or tradition. So I'm not going to get into specifics, but it is the grandmother that lives right at the edge of town, on the outskirts of the forest, who you know you can go to when you just can't kick that cough. I'm sure that images are flashing in your mind. We all know the stories. I've met a couple of people like that in my life, and one of them is my grandmother. She had an old wives' tale for every ailment I had as a child. And me now would consider her very, very witchy, but I better not tell her that. These people, be it my grandmother or people like her who I've read about in folklore, have always been inspiring to me. They drive me to take on that role in my community, be it online or in my regular life. This is a conversation I've been having with myself for a while, and has been my main theme of the month as I figure out the direction that I want to go with my community and decide the role that I want to take on. All very Leo-heavy themes. Throughout this video, you will see me explore different ways of doing this, be it digitally or in person. Back to this specific situation, here I am making a super simple room spray. The person that I'm making this for knows that I'm a practitioner, but they're not, so I don't want to give them something too overtly magical, like a ritual candle, and make them uncomfortable or overwhelmed. A room spray is easy for anyone to use, so it's typically my go-to. My basic recipe is 3 parts water, 1 part alcohol, herbs and oil of your choosing, and a pinch of salt. The intention for this blend specifically is to cleanse their space of unwanted energy, then invite back in a sense of healing and love. Starting out with a base of water, I add my salt, followed by yarrow and lavender, 2 of my favorite herbs for healing and love. They both have such calming energy. Same for rose, the oil of choosing for this blend. I would usually add vodka by itself to this spray, however I ran out, so I opted for Florida water instead. Along with the spray, I am sending a self-love bath blend and a tea light candle I made last spring equinox for rebirth and renewal. I love batch creating items like these tea lights on specific days and using them or giving them out throughout the year. I did 1 final charging of their package and sent it off. And the final thing that I need to do here is announce the book for this month's book club. If you don't know, I have a Discord, and if you have not joined, you definitely should. It is such a wonderful community, and we have a very casual book club. There's nothing expected of you, and we don't meet to talk. We just keep the chat open, and you can chime in throughout the month of your thoughts. It is mainly a way that I can just introduce you to new books, get you reading, or in this case, get you crafting. This is the Handmade Grimoire, a creative treasury for magical journaling by Laura Derbyshire. What makes this really special is not only does it explain what a grimoire is, how to make one, what to include, It has physical pages in the back for you to make grimoire pages with. And if you've been keeping up with me, you know that I am in the process of redoing my grimoire. So I'm actually going to turn this into a separate video, and I am going to create a grimoire page alongside you. This is a video I have already posted, and you can watch it after this one. The subject of the page is Lunaria, the newest plant ally I have begun working with in my practice. A plant that came into my life on the Aquarius full moon. Later that night, I went to the park to meet my friend Sophia, also known as the Miami Witch, for the full moon. I brought along my jewelry to charge, an herbal blend we packed together earlier in this video. Unbeknownst to me, Sophia was bringing Lunaria, a plant that at that moment I had never seen or heard of, but I have become quite well acquainted with in the past month. I have noticed since putting myself out there more and interacting with other practitioners, I have had quite a few experiences like this one. Be it being introduced to a new plant, hearing someone's regional folklore, or their method of creating sacred space. There is much to be learned from others, and I am so grateful for anyone who has shared a piece of their practice with me. Before we began our workings for the night, we made offerings with birdseed. There was a grove of trees to our right that I felt very called to, so I walked to each one and left a few seeds at the base of their trunks. Almost immediately, a squirrel jumped from the canopy and started eating the seeds. We took it as a sign that the local land spirits were in support of our working.
Does he smell the seeds that you left behind?
He is eating my seeds. My offering. My spirits are like, this is good. Right before nightfall, we got to work. I do most of my spell work on a mirror. This is great for a couple of reasons, but mainly it reflects back anything that may be interfering with my working. I cleanse my space, myself, and my tools. Then I sprinkled around my herbal mixture. This is something that I often do instead of dressing my candle in a more traditional sense. We intuitively added Lunaria to the working and a few other personal correspondences, like this tarot and oracle card that both really represented our working. Magical card decks have many uses in the craft, not just divination. They're great for working with specific archetypes, be it in your spell work, as seen here, or through meditation to embody that energy. If you haven't tried working with your cards in this way, give it a go. I carefully placed our jewelry on the mirror, then awoken and activated our candle. Carefully carving the Aquarius symbol into the wax. With 2 final offerings for good measure and a few drops of spell oil, I lit the wick. Under Luna's radiant gleam, a spell is cast with an Aquarian dream. Seeking guidance, we gather round to charge our jewels upon the ground. Mother Moon, in ethereal glow, imbue with clarity its soft solace we know. Transform these pieces to a beacon of light, guiding their travelers both day and night. So as we will it, so as it is done, a quest for answers has just begun. Good morning. It was too late to film last night by the time that I got home, but it was so fun getting out and celebrating the full moon with another practitioner. This is actually the first of a few group events that I am going to be attending this month. In a few weeks, I am hosting a live grimoire crafting session on my Discord. And then Sophia, the friend that I met with last night, is hosting a Connecting with the Earth candle dressing workshop with their South Florida coven that I will be going to. And I am really excited for both. I told y'all it is Leo season and we are putting ourselves out there. Before I knew it, my first ever digital event was here. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to turn on my camera and craft grimoire pages with you guys. We are going to start on my Twitch, where I'm going to explain everything, and then we're going to jump into my Discord and get crafting. I am a little bit nervous, mainly because I've never done anything like this before, but it's a good nervousness. I have always wanted to do something like this. It is the direction I want to take my content, and I just hope that this will be a good opportunity to make witchy friends, get inspired by other practitioners, and grow as a community. So, let's click that live button and see how it goes. Yes, there is duct tape on these headphones. I need a new pair. That went so much better than I could have possibly imagined. We all hung out for like 3 hours. Everyone made such amazing pages. Except myself, my grimoire is literally blank. I just got so caught up in talking because the best part was connecting with people who have supported me for so many years. The internet is so cool sometimes. I am really emotional and I just want to sit and journal about this experience. But it was definitely inspiring and has me introspecting about the content I create and where I want to go with our community. A few days after that, I attended the Connecting to the Earth workshop with Sophia's South Florida coven. I have been solitary for the majority of my practice. Until I started sharing my practice online, I had never even met another practitioner. Going to events like these is always a bit out of my comfort zone. But like I said, it is always in the best way. There's nothing like being with other practitioners, folks that see the world in the same way that you do. Of course, we all have different beliefs, but it feels like there's a common thread weaved through all of us. This workshop was centered around connecting to the land that we live on, something that I have worked really hard on over the past year, as this is my last one here in Miami and I vowed to make the most of it. A journey that you've seen me go on if you've been keeping up with me. I feel so much more in touch with the local flora and fauna than I did at the beginning of the year. And while being here doing this ritual, that really hit me. We were all asked to bring a local plant clipping with us. I chose bougainvillea, the paper flower. Others brought milkweed, honeysuckle, or a frond from the saw palmetto. And looking around at their plants, I knew them all. Most of them were strangers to me at the beginning of the year, but I am so honored now to have made their acquaintance. We did a guided meditation with our plant allies, crafted sigils, dressed candles, had snacks, laughed, connected with one another and the spirits around us. I just got home from my first workshop with the South Florida coven, and I have so many thoughts. So I thought I would just sit down and share them with you while they are fresh on my mind. I do also have more to do to complete the ritual that we started. We created the ritual candle there together, and then we're supposed to go home and complete the burn, which I love the structure of that. Also, I just need to show you how we dress the candle. As you saw in the clip, there was a table of herbs and we all put our herbs in these paper bags. Then we dressed our candle with some oil and put the candle in here and just shook it up. It wasn't messy at all, none of the herbs blew away, and it was great for travel. Amazing. I am definitely using this. See, I am telling you, you learn so much by just being around other practitioners. I have the same feeling that I had when I completed my grimoire crafting session. I am just kind of speechless, though I am thinking so many things. I feel like I have grown as a practitioner, but also as someone who wants to create community. Being there, being around folks who do so much group work, really showed me the community that I want to create. but it also inspired me in how I want to lead. This has been a very successful Leo season for me. Leo is a sign that seeks to shine, but also wants to do that for other people. This Leo season had me exploring these themes and asking myself how I want to shine and how I want to do that for others. And at the end of it, at the end of Leo season, after putting myself out there and stepping into the spotlight like Leo invites us to do, I have a little bit more clarity of what that looks like for me. Leo rules the heart, the animating force of the body, because they put their whole heart into every situation and relationship that they encounter. And going forward, I hope to take a little bit of that wisdom with me. But for now, it is time to burn my candle, to continue connecting to the land during the time that I have left here, and to keep taking steps to create the things that I want to. That is all I have for you today. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification. To keep up with me between uploads, there will be a link down below to all of my other platforms, as well as to join my Discord, buy my book, or book an astrology reading with me. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, have a magical rest of your day. Blessed be, and goodbye, everyone.